Oh, Ice Gauntlet Rapier, one of my favorite builds to play. It's been a long time since I've been on this guy. I actually first played this build when New World had actually launched, and it was very popular back then, but I imagine maybe a little bit less popular now as the meta has changed a lot since then. That being said, this is probably the hardest hitting Rapier build that I've ever played. It just lets you do crazy damage. Deep Freeze with the Ice Gauntlet is pretty much purely the support weapon here. And just look at that crazy Rapier burst. Oh my god, people stand in the crap and they are done. Now, I've got quite a bit of footage of this build for you guys today. Of course, there is a breakdown of the build at the end of the video and a written guide linked down below if that's what you guys would like to see too. I am finally back streaming on Twitch again, so if you guys want to see some gameplay from me, you can always come and check out this stream. And of course, if you have an awesome clip you want to see in the New World Top 5, feel free to send it to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. Now, without further ado, let's get into that PvP commentary. This first fight here, we already got two nice bursts off on two players, and the musket player starts running away from us, so I just kind of head back towards the door to try to lure him in close. He switches to his rapier. We got two other players on us here, but that's exactly what I wanted. I get a little lucky with my health there, managing to just squeeze out and pop my ultimate in time. And we take the musket player down, and I get back behind the rocks here, and there's the trap from the Ice Gauntlet. The first player steps in it. We get a bit of damage on him. Here come all the friendlies to save the day. Yeah, it was rough times in OPR today, I'll be honest. A lot of the games were just completely one-sided, so it was tough to find any games where the combat actually went on longer than 5 or 10 minutes. Either way, a little bit more time went on in this OPR, and I managed to just quickly pick up a kill on the lower health player there. Then we've got the musket guy on us again here. I throw down the Ice Gauntlet trap, and that Deep Freeze, man, is going to apply that damage to anybody that is chilled, and that's exactly what I want from the Gauntlet. Crazy burst on the musket guy. He is so squishy. Down he goes. Then right away, we just switch to the next target here. I turn around and I start fighting the very tanky boy here. He's got flail and shield. Slowly working through his stamina. The other guy with Rapier here just spamming those heavy attacks. That's exactly what we need to do. Managed to bring this guy down. And yeah, that's the end of that clip. Moving on to the next one. Inside of the enemy outpost, there's a lot of enemy players in the center. I get a good drop on this healer. We get a ton of damage, but he manages to run back into the middle of the fight there, so I decide not to chase, and I just turn onto the other healer here. He ends up blowing his stamina trying to get away, and we just start feeding him that damage with the Rapier. Down he goes, and just steal a kill off that guy there. Why not? And I drop outside. There's quite a few enemy players out here. It looks like a archer or musket player in the back there too. So I throw down all my Ice Gauntlet bullshit. I manage to trap this poor guy here. He takes quite a lot of damage, but he manages to escape with his burnout. And I decide, all right, I'm going to chase, and I try to get on top of him. He just keeps running away. I miss the Ice Shower. That's the trap to try to catch players. Honestly, if someone's trying to run away, we have to use that Ice Shower. Ice Storm in order to slow them down. It's pretty much our best tool to make sure we can get on top of them with Rapier again. And then here I find quite a few enemy players shooting at me. Lots of projectiles. I get back behind the tree, and we can really hold our ground with this Ice Gauntlet. The Rapier, of course, no slouch thanks to that lifesteal. We get really good damage on that player there. He almost goes down, but they have got a little bit too much pressure on me here, so I'm unable to finish him off. Looks like 5 enemy players just running through here. And again, we just use the Ice Gauntlet stuff to keep these guys in place and kind of mitigate the damage from this fight. And after everybody got trapped there, only one player decides to follow me around the corner, and he's got that Void Gauntlet Great Axe. We all know what's going to happen. He throws down his tether. He goes for the Void Blade. And I just quickly pop the Entomb to take off those negative effects. I turn around and I start feeding pokes. Unfortunately, the wolf eats most of those pokes, but that's okay. It's one less target to hit instead of this guy, I guess. And then I managed to get a really nice combo there, going for my flesh into the light attack evade. And oh man, you cannot trade with Flurry. Doesn't matter if you're running a Void Gauntlet, you cannot trade with Flurry, especially from a build like this. The reason I say the Rapier hits so hard is because we're actually running a dex spec on this build. Even though we've got Ice Gauntlet, I wanted to get that Rapier damage as high as possible, so I quite enjoyed the burst from the Rapier on this guy. And in this clip here, you can see we've got a very tanky player in front of me. I wait just to kind of bait out the greatsword, because when he has that sword and shield, not only does he have the strong block, but greatsword's going to put him in onslaught stance. Another enemy player comes in and he tries to go for some damage on me. I get a really nice burst combo off on him, and then again, he is in onslaught stance. He takes crazy damage from that combo. We don't even have the Ice Gauntlet bonus down on him, and we're still hitting like, oh my god, almost a 7k flesh if we had got the backstab and we hadn't died from just the first hit there. And then I pop outside here, the tanky player hot on my tail. I pop my ultimate after taking quite a lot of damage from a ranged player from behind there, and we got the fire staff guy up top. I throw down my Ice Gauntlet stuff again. We get a little bit of coverage with it, and then here is the musket player. He's actually fairly low health already. And I find myself in a nasty spot here. I just go for the entomb, and then right away I roll through the enemy players that are coming towards me. That is a huge part of staying alive. If you have lots of people on you, rolling through them helps a lot. There you see, again, we roll through them and it works. Again, I roll through them, and this time I go for the flurry around the corner. We get a little bit of damage off, finally healed up, and look at that! Managed to get the backstab in on the musket player. He ends up going down, and all the friendlies come charging in, so yeah. That was that. Honestly, it was tough to find a lot of solo PvP today. It was very, very zergy in OPR. And then here, every OPR game, I like to go and get my stuff for the cleanse potions, but these guys ended up coming around to our side right away, so I'm forced to defend myself. The greatsword player, I'll be honest, this guy kicked my butt really good first thing in the morning today, but I managed to get a really good counter burst as he jumps on top of me, and enough to at least get him to back off, and he decides to go after a different target. And then I've got these two players on top of me still, and I think they have a healer in the back that's going to come and join this fight as well. I go for the pokes with my rapier, but again, I just want to get to a little bit of terrain. Having the tree is going to help immensely, just kind of mitigate a bit of damage. Even though I don't go behind the tree there, that's okay. The ice shower wasn't super useful. This was my first fight of the day, so yeah. Little bit of misplacement there, but that's okay. That's a good ice storm. And then I go for the flurry. We get nice damage on that guy, but I'm unable to kind of stick out the rest of that combo. And here, I really should have gone for the flurry. Didn't realize that I had it ready again. And I think we would have been able to get the kill on that guy. But my retreat kind of works. I get a good ice shower on one of the players, just kind of slowing him down a little bit. And then into the entomb, I roll behind the Void Gauntlet player that's swinging his sword at me. There is another, oh man, nice little combo with Flesh to take down the Archer, and then I turn around and start going for the Void Gauntlet player. He's got the healer with him as well, so that fight actually drags out, and it ends up being a mutual tie between everybody. Let's all decide, all right, we're moving on to other stuff. And now for the last clip that I have today for you guys. Inside the enemy outpost, as always. I love fighting in this particular outpost because we've got lots of cover at the top too. So if I need to retreat up top, I have a lot of good options. And I'm managing to get really good combos on this spear player here, and just staying out of range of his stuff as well. I'm waiting for the cooldowns on my Ice Gauntlet stuff to land. One more trap. And there's the nice little evade into the light attack poke, and I go for the flurry. Unfortunately, another player jumps in front and eats a majority of that damage, and I end up not hitting the spear guy with the damage that I wanted. As I go around the corner up top here, again, I get good damage with my rapier. He just manages to survive, force him to pop his ultimate. There's a great ice storm. We trap everybody in it, go for a huge flesh through. Oh my god, the squishy player just gets bursted so quickly. And I turn around and just start attacking the Greatsword and Hatchet player. And here I make a pretty critical mistake. We should have gone for the evade and then tried to flesh out of there, but that's okay. Here's a look at the build for you guys. It's actually 150 con. I just have a bum ring that gets boosted up in OPR, so yeah, this is the way I'm playing it. Ideally, we would have 300 dex and 150 intel. I just don't have gear that makes that happen. I would need a 725 piece that isn't magnify, and I don't have one, so there you go. And then taking a look at the trees, the rapier tree you've seen a million times from me. The ice gauntlet tree seems like a bit of an offensive tree, but with lots of the support skills. It's important we go for this tree because we need ultimate chill in order to guarantee that damage on the rapier. And then taking a look at the rapier I'm running here, I'm going nature damage on this build. Again, I'm just having some gear limitations. Ideally, this would be a full ice damage build to boost the gauntlet as well, but because I have the nature rune glass on my rapier already, I just decided to go nature damage. Also, I don't have an ice damage ring, And then for the Gauntlet, ideally, we would like to have the additional duration on the Ice Storm dot. That being said, I do have Empowering Ice Spike. It's for a different build that I want to play. So that's the decision I made with my Coconut. And then for the armor here, I've got a mix of Shirking Heels, Refreshing, a couple pieces of Freedom. I'm really liking Freedom in PvP. And of course, we have Hasted Vigor and Leeching Flurry. An absolute must-have to have Leeching Flurry on this guy. The pants are kind of funny. We got Nature Harnessing and we've got a Nature Damage. Rune Glass, we're sitting at 48% Empower with the Winged Leather Shoes. These shoes also will be procced 100% of the time if you use the Speed Food and OPR. I am really liking them for OPR. And then for the jewelry, you could go for an artifact piece of your choice here. I think the Elemental Band would actually be a great option because we are going for the Nature Ice split. But, you know, I don't have the band, and the other jewelry pieces I don't like when you play solo, even though we got a lot of Shirking Heels. Ankh Net, if you're by yourself, isn't that amazing. There you go, guys. There's a written guide on my website if you want to check it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.